Hello. We're
Hello,
really glad to have you here with us today, and we thank you for spending your precious time here with us to get interviewed.
thank
Uh,
you.
and I wanted to point out that as soon as you entered the meeting, the recording has already started.
Okay.
And now, can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, can you introduce first yourself?
Okay, so I'm Sarah.
And my
Mhm.
name is Namo. We're the interviewers from The Groove Chronicles.
Okay, so can you tell me about Chronicles first, a little bit? Never
Okay,
did give
so
up.
it's a media platform where we educate today's generation on treatment towards women and the social issues regarding it. And in the
Mm-hmm.
future, we're planning to create posts all about that, and we accept input about every individual. And we want to shed light on real people with real experiences. And we once again thank you for helping us to achieve this goal.
Okay, so where are you calling from? Still from Mongolia or from everywhere else? From different countries?
Mongolia,
Oh, from Mongolia. Okay, so it's going to be English platform, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay. What does grooves mean?
Groove.
Uh-huh.
So the Groove Chronicles, the name, we wanted to special. I mean, get it, make it unique to like catch people's attention first. And groove, I think you can take it as fun, unique, special.
Mm-hmm.
The word meaning.
Mhm. Okay. So, so to introduce me shortly, I'm Oyungerel and a writer. I've been also advocating for human rights for many years and advocating for democracy and transparency and civil participation. So these days I'm concentrating on establishing a new political party, actually inviting lots of young people and women in this new party because it's called, so far it's a tentative name is the Civic Participation Party, in which we are trying to give uh, elect, trying to give access to information to everybody, including access to political activities.
We hope the best for your new party. So,
Thanks.
before we get to our real questions, we have a
Mm-hmm.
few speed round questions. They will be just for fun, uh,
Okay.
to be a nice icebreaker.
Okay.
So, our first question is that would you rather encounter dinosaurs or aliens?
Oh, I would love to encounter dinosaurs.
Yeah, as we know more about them, so I think it will be the safer option.
Uh-huh.
So now, Mrs. Oyungerel, would you rather explore the ocean or the space?
Ocean. Yeah. Probably space is too scary for me to be lost up there. But ocean, I think I can at least ask lots of people how to navigate it.
Of course, the space is very big. So, our next question is that would you rather be fluent in all languages but never be able to travel, or be able to travel anywhere but never be able to learn a word of a different language?
Oh, I would rather travel, I think. Yeah, I think, I don't know, but during COVID time when we can't travel anywhere, I think learning languages is also giving us opportunity to mentally travel. But uh, if I were if I were just given only those choices, like you asked, I would rather have an opportunity to travel. Yeah.
Yeah, one would be able to learn about their cultures as well as they travel, so we totally
Mhm.
agree with that. So, would you rather have telekinesis, the ability to move things with their mind, or telepathy, the ability to read minds?
I don't know. I don't want to control other people. So even so, if I were given a chance to use telepathy, I would rather not to use it. So I like to leave people think freely and leave their thoughts alone. So I would choose the first.
Based on the question, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, of what? Which superpowers?
Like
Uh,
you can have any type of superpower.
I never imagined about having superpowers before. I somehow powers don't attract me too much, especially superpowers. I don't know what kind of superpower. If I were really given a superpower, I would love to have a power to heal other people, like magically heal. Yeah.
Oh, that's a very nice power. Being able to heal is just magical.
Uh-huh.
Last but not least, would you rather
Mhm.
never be stuck in traffic again or never get another cold?
Oh, I would. I would not want to stuck in traffic. I think that's why I always walk because I don't want to stuck in travel in traffic. So I don't have a car. I don't get stuck in the traffic. And there is a traffic. I always walk. I always prefer cold, and always prefer walking in the cold than not being able to move forward. So I always walk all year around, including during winter time. So I think naturally I would choose the cold.
Yeah, health should be one's utmost priority. So,
Now we'll be moving on to our real questions. And our
Mhm.
first question is that what do you enjoy about your job as an author?
Oh, I really enjoy the study, the research part, to find out the truths that we don't know, and just exploring the past and exploring the uh, dramas of other people's lives, and then creating a new character and write it in a new sense. So my writing is a historic novel writing. So that's why it's so much fun I experience as a researcher of the history and also creation of a new character. So I like every bit of writing job.
secondly, going into your career venture, leading the Democratic Women's Union, what motivated you to join this organization?
Uh, Firstly, I joined the Democratic Party when I was 26. So I've been in the Democratic Party for 29 years until this year. So when I spent these 29 years in Democratic Party, I always wanted to make sure that I have a position on issues, my own voice and my own position on issues. So uh, when you have an opinion and a position on issues, you you see things uh, through uh, how through the solutions, how you can be part of solutions. So you always look for solutions to make sure that um, uh, you can represent other people's also uh, opinions. So you have to listen a lot of people in order to understand how to figure out your own voice too. So joining the Democratic Women's Union helped me to figure out what women want and how I can represent them and how I can be a voice for women and also how I can be a part of a women's movement. So, so that's how why I wanted to be a part of women's organization. And also, I saw so much inequality toward women, especially in a political career. So I wanted to bring equality to the political arena by
Totally,
my participation, by my struggle there. Uh-huh.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'm totally agreed because our team is going forward for feminism as well. We want to protect the women's right, and we see a lot of unfair treatment towards women in this society. So, moving on to our next question. With multiple career ventures, the toilet campaign and women's organization being an author and more, how do you relieve your stress?
Oh, just like other people, listen to songs and walking and sleeping and laughing. That's how you relieve your stress. And traveling and walking, and especially going to countryside, uh, helps you a lot. Helps me a lot. Yeah.
Totally agreed. So, fourthly, due to your international academic background, like going to top notch schools in the US and Russia, what would you like for young Mongolian students going abroad to know?
Uh, each time, whenever I went to schools in Soviet Union and Russia and the USA, I was a unique student in the class. They liked to talk to me. They liked my answers. They liked my questions in my class because my point of view was a very Mongolian, and I knew Mongolia very well. And I answered questions using Mongolian examples, quoting Mongolian books and quoting Mongolian authors. So that's why my classes in the end of the school year usually congratulated me for being a real Mongolian in the class and bringing lots of information about Mongolia to the classroom discussion. So I think before going anywhere, you should study Mongolian and you should understand Mongolian culture and understand Mongolian politics so well that you can be a very interesting student in your class wherever you go. So I would urge Mongolian women to understand all the intricacies of Mongolian traditional culture and modern culture, and also understand why we do things this way because of our climate, because of the science, because of efficiency, because of our capacity to pay. So you should understand all these things in order to explain why we do things this way or why we cannot do things the other way. Yeah.
I'm sure our followers have noted down that answer. Our fifth question is that, with writing multiple top selling novels, such as The Green Eyed Llama, where do you get your inspirations from, and how does your writing process work?
My inspiration was my grandmother. My grandmother was a very peaceful woman who endured so much in her life, but never complained to anyone about her miseries. And she had poverty and discrimination uh, and sickness and having multiple children and giving away her children. She's been through many, many life challenges, but she remained so noble, so highly ethical, and so respectful to the country and respectful to the state, despite the state was the entity that really um, brought misery to her life. But she remained so patriotic and so loyal to the country despite all the things she went through. And when I asked my grandmother why she always remained so noble, and she says, because you are a Mongolian person, you are doomed for this life, but things happened to me because I live in Mongolia and our country needed an independence and our country needed us. So she was very, very patriotic, deeply patriotic till the end of her life. But that really inspired me. I wanted to know more about this person and I wanted to describe exactly what she went through and why she remained so noble by the end of all these things happened to her. So I wanted to put myself in her skin. And the only way to do that is to write about her. So that's why I'm writing about her. And also I'm about writing my mother and father. In, and they are also my inspiration. And the writing process goes like I write 5 pages every day. I don't write all at once. I think 5 pages is only, and then think in this small section, one or two scenes only when I think a day, what will be my immediate next scene, and what will be immediate next scene of that scene. So only one or two big scenes, two concrete scenes I think all day, and then I write that next day. But the big picture, of course, I plan it for years. And then when I know the general plan of all the scenes, I start writing, but uh, to write 5 pages of your daily 5 pages, you have to think for 24 hours, beginning from previous day. That's why my everyday writing is interesting for me.
Yeah, my grandma is also a really big inspiration to me. She has and still is like inspiring me and has impacted my life a lot. And about the writing process, doing things step by step is the way to go. So for the next question, Mrs. Oyungerel, with such an impressive human rights campaign experience, what would you want to tell young adults going into activism?
Okay, that's a very good question, because now younger generation are becoming a really good activists on many social issues, and many even today as we speak, people are still gathering at Sukwater Square, and there are two different demonstrations that are going on. One, the horse racers; the other is young people opposing NADAM. So everybody who's going to activism is taking some kind of risk. Uh, Sometimes it's a political risk, sometimes it's a health risk, sometimes it's a risk to lose her or his jobs. So sometimes it's a risk for having social pressure of opposing parties, opposing people who don't agree with you. So, first of all, I would ask those who are going to activism to understand those risks and not be panicked about if something happens to her or him, if the police arrests you, or if somebody is mocking you, if somebody is yelling at you, or somebody from your family doesn't agree with you, etc. These are all the risks that somebody takes on herself or himself when going to activism. And sometimes some uh, activist movements don't succeed, sometimes it succeeds. So one-time campaign or one-time activism or one-time demonstration is actually just a trigger to start something lasting, bigger change, So that's why when you demonstrate, don't think that this is the job that is over. Demonstration is just a start of something you should do for a long time. In past, I participated, for example, for demonstration for human rights, for bringing land to countryside farmers, but after that, it took many years to develop the laws and procedures and helping enforce it so that uh, people really got the land. So it requires work after that. So if you go into activism, it's not an easy job. It's not a one-day job. It's not a one demonstration activism. It requires your lifetime dedication to many causes, not just that cause, many causes. So you ask yourself before going to political activity or any social activity, ask yourself, do you have enough time to dedicate yourself for volunteerism? For example, I was activist since I'm like 23. My first ever demonstration happened when I was 23. I participated in a phosphate, no phosphate mining in Hope School demonstration in 1988. That was my first appearance on demonstration. I was holding a newspaper in which there was an article about um, uh, Mother Ocean on далайн ээж цаацын тавцсан, тэгээд can translate it. So So Mother Ocean is about to on death penalty or something. So my demonstration, I was just 23 then, and I understood that I'm joining a movement in which people will oppose all the phosphate mining in Hupskul. It's been how many years since? It's been 33 years since then. And I'm still an activist not to support phosphate mining in Hupskul. There is every government tries to dig phosphate in Hupskul Lake area. And every time I have to oppose it, and every time I have to write articles, and wrote many articles spreading leaflets to Hupskul people. And each time when I ran for parliament in Hupskul, 3 times I lost there. All 3 times I've been advocating people not to allow any party and any government to start phosphate mining there. So throughout 33 years, I've been activist on that cause. So when you start a cause, you have to be a watchdog all your life. So I would encourage young people to be activists, of course, but uh, understand that sometimes it takes a whole life to be a watchdog of that cause.
That was a great advice. I'm sure that the younger generation will be more sure to go into activism. Our next question is
Mhm.
that what advice would you give the Generation Z, especially girls who want to follow your footsteps?
I would I would like to help them. I would like to help Generation Z to follow my step without the struggles that I went through. So I would like to eliminate as much a struggle as possible from their past. That's why I'm setting up this new party in which everybody can participate through Zoom or online meetings. And also, I would like to make sure that political financing that they will need should be minimal. And I would like to bring a new culture in politics where women and young people and disabled people and herders all can enjoy active political life without uh, being limited by too much money demand. So I would like to make the political activity cheaper, cheaper and more affordable. So that way, they will skip lots of challenges that I went through. So I would be proud. I would be proud of my past, unless there was no financial struggles that I had to go through. So my past is okay, but I I spent like 29 years trying to be like men, trying to be like equally uh, uh, compete with men uh, who are totally richer than me, and I had to overcome all those barriers that they put on our ways. But then I thought, why I should call Generation Z and other young people to follow my footsteps exactly? Why they have to go through all those bumpy barriers? Why can't I help eliminate those barriers? So that's why I'm now doing the barrier eliminating part, in which I would like to give way more broader path for younger people.
Yeah, based on how hard you're working, I'm sure that all your aspirations will come true. So, for the next question,
Mhm.
when did you first realize that when you wanted to write and become an author?
Oh, when I realized that I can write a book. When I studied at Stanford University, my homework was so much writing. It required so much writing. Before that I wrote short stories, and not the fiction stories, just the non-fiction short articles. I used to write articles for newspapers. and I actually made living on it sometimes. So I knew that I could write like 5 pages articles easily, but I didn't know that I could write hundreds of pages. So I knew that I had that capacity only when my homework was really, really heavily required writing. So Stanford gave me assignments like minimum 20 pages writing every day. And sometimes it required 50 pages writing a day. Then I thought, hey, I can write for longer pages and I can write a book. I should write a book. So, but right after Stanford graduation, I started to Green-Eyed Llama. Its first ever version was like 1,000 pages. And I finished that first version, which was never published. That first, like a raw version of Green-Eyed Llama was completed after writing 1,000 pages in 1 year. And I actually celebrated it because it was 1 year anniversary of my Stanford graduation. So I actually put in the end of that uh, manuscript, I actually put a date, like June 9 or June 13 of 2005, 1 year anniversary of my graduation or something like that. So actually studying at Stanford actually gave me energy and confidence that I can write. But that first version wasn't a good one. It was criticized by a professional agent in US, and he said you should toss it to the trash bin because nobody will read this. So I wrapped it in a silk and put it into my outer, and I never opened it and never published that. So I rewrote everything beginning from 2006. So the the Green-Eyed Llama that people read now is the second version of the Green-Eyed Llama that I wrote.
That's a wonderful story. We're so glad you started to be an author because your books are amazing, and I've heard a lot of people praising it and saying that this is a once in a lifetime book. They people love your books. So
Thank you.
um, this is a quite personal questions. We are asking
Mhm.
your preferences between audiobooks, hardcover books, or ebooks.
I write paper books, but M Plus, the audiobook publisher, trans, uh, transferred the book into audiobook, and we are doing the deal to receive royalty from my audiobooks. So I always start the book writing as a paper book, and also paper book is sold much better, and I earn more from paper book. But ebooks never give me much money so far yet. My ebook is now on Amazon, but ebooks sale is very, very slow so far. I hope it will grow later.
Yeah, I'm sure that based on how wonderful your writing is, that those ebooks will be sold faster and more. And I do also prefer paper books as well. The feeling you get from reading those paper books is impeccable. So I
Mhm.
totally. Now onto our very last question.
Uh-huh.
Now that you've gathered a lot of experience, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, I don't know. uh, I don't know. I think I would let her live her life by herself. Just experience everything as she experiences as she lives.
So that was our final question. We
Mhm.
thank you again and again for such insightful answers. We have learned a lot from you, and we are very much sure that our followers are happy as well. So thank you again for
Thank you. Thank you.
accepting our invitation.
Can I also compliment you guys?
Yes,
You
please.
two speak English so perfectly, and my generation English is full of accents, but you guys speak really perfectly. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. I mean, thanks to the older generation, we were able to learn English well these days. So thank you so much.